Blog Talk Radio. Chatting with Nat is a podcast for independent women seeking to speak their truth and to break down barriers. We host honest conversations that help to guide and empower women. Speak your truth and set yourself free. Let your voice be heard. Hi everyone, it's Natalie. Yes, it's Chatting with Nat, and today we have the honor of having artist, songwriter, producer Khiana Noel. Khiana Noel is a songwriter, producer, and artist based out of Nashville, Tennessee. Moving to Nashville at 19, her focus began with writing for other artists. Having been in Nashville for 5 years now, Khiana, 24, has had many songs released by various artists in different genres and celebrated a recent success of over 2 million streams. Khiana is working on self-producing her own album with singles along the way. Let's give her a round of applause. How are you, Khiana?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm still hanging in there since we last spoke. Still hanging in there, still trying to make sense of this whole pandemic thing. Recently, I had a conversation. I was having a conversation with my mom and my uncle, and you know, a lot of people think it's unfair that the administration is trying to force people to get vaccines.
Yeah, that's a tough conversation.
It's a tough conversation, but I look at things. I didn't want to get the vaccine. I'll be honest with you. I don't like stuff I don't know going in my body, like I told you the other day. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing that I think about. I think about all the men and women and the dogs that are in the military. And they sacrifice their lives for our own personal freedom every single day, no matter where they are. And so when I compare that to, us having to sacrifice our own lives for the sake of everybody else's freedom, I have to say I bow down to the military because
absolutely,
it's crazy. And I understand why people don't want to do it, but you know what? There comes a time where you're just going to have to sacrifice that because does everybody want to sit in their rooms for the rest of their lives wear masks? I just can't take it anymore. And I understand both sides. I don't think somebody should be forced to do it. Like if you don't want to do it, fine, but you got to get tested all the time. It's such a crazy topic of conversation. I had one, who's now an ex-friend, compare it to slavery and the Holocaust. You can't even compare.
Oh, God. That's a little intense.
Don't you think? So, with slavery and Holocaust, you didn't have a choice. Here you have some choices.
Right.
And it was just, I was flabbergasted. So, it's just crazy. I just hope to God soon we can walk out without these masks on and, feel safe again in this world. These are the things that I think about.
I know. It's so difficult. I was nervous to get the vaccine as well. Like you said, I was kind of hesitant. I got it really early. I think I had my first dose in March and then second dose at the end of April. And I was nervous to get it, but I feel so much safer just knowing that I'm protected. I can see my family over the holidays. And, obviously there's still a chance that you could get it with the new variants and stuff. But, I think moving forward, at least I know if I get it, I probably won't die. And hopefully no one around me will get super sick. So.
Oh, that little thing about not dying.
Small detail.
It's small detail. No, I get it. You and I are in the same boat here. It's like, I like to travel. I want to do stuff. I want to see people. I want to hang out. I want to go to a bar. I want to do this. I want to do that. So, it is what it is. It is what it is. So for the listeners that did not listen to the IG live, I didn't ask you this question. So you recently celebrated the success of over 2 million streams. What was that for?
Yeah, so I pretty recently had my first song hit 1 million, which was really cool. It's a song I co-wrote. The producer artist on it is his name's Huang, and it's called When You're Lonely. It's featuring one of my best friends who lives out in LA. And that one surpassed 1 million over the summer, and then I just got my second million with an artist named Landon Austin. We wrote a song together called Till You're Out of Stars, and that one just passed over 1 million as well. So that was kind of my two, I would say, biggest cuts so far, which is really exciting. And yeah, I'm super pumped about it.
Yeah, you should be. Because damn, that's pretty good. It's hard enough to get one stream. What's crazy about that is that you have all these streams, and like Spotify only like pays half a cent.
Yeah, especially for songwriters, it's really hard to, like, we don't get, I mean, it's hard enough for artists to get paid on their music, but
I know, and for songwriters it's even more difficult. Because I know when Pharrell Williams released Happy on all the streaming platforms, Spotify, he got several million streams, but he only got like $30,000 out of it, which is ridiculous on the amount of streams that.
Yeah.
And I was recently reading an article about the guy from Spotify that owns Spotify. He's just so much into his head is up his butt that he doesn't understand the whole dynamic that when you create a song, pretty much that it can cost thousands of dollars to create that song. And so to look at an artist and devalue their music and have it at half a cent is just crazy to me. And then the man's always talking about, well, you need to make more music. It's like, dude, here's the thing, though. Streaming services obviously have a purpose because not only can people just listen to music, you can gain new fans. So it's like an oxymoron, basically. It's like you really don't want to be on there because, my God, you're not paying enough, but then other people get to know who you are, and then they might put your song on their playlist.
Yeah, it's a tough thing as an artist and as a songwriter because, we all want to reach the people and connect with people and find new listeners and new audience members. But, it is frustrating when you spend hours and hours and years of your life working on something and don't see compensation for it. It can be discouraging.
Very, 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 and let me just put very, very on there as this ooh, as this ooh. All right, who are the three? It can be very distant. Who are the three people who have been the most influential to you?
Oh, God. I mean, in my personal life, definitely my mom, my dad, and my sister. I'm very close to my family, and they have supported both my parents are in the arts, but in their own respective fields, and my sister is an artist as well. She does a lot of culinary art and things like that. So I was kind of raised in a family of artists, and those three are the closest people in my life and definitely my biggest inspirations personally.
Okay. I like that. Yeah, my family are in those top threes. So I completely get it. What is the one of the things that you want to debunk about the music industry, like a myth that's out there?
Oh, that is a 1 in a million dream.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know. That might be a controversial opinion, but I don't think it's as 1 in a million as, we've all been told.
Right. Yeah.
I think there's space. Yeah, I think there's space for everybody, and I think in the same way that you and I are both writers and artists, like your music is going to hit somebody differently and connect to them in a different way than mine will, and vice versa. And I think that it's not about the competition or comparison side or how big or small you make it. It's just there's different listeners that need different songs, and we're different artists, and we all have our own space to live in, if that makes sense.
No, that makes complete sense. Makes complete sense. I think in the music industry, so many people are, they're competing with everybody. See, I'm not a type of person that's competing against anyone. I just do.
Me either. I can't get myself to do it.
Who has time for that? You know what? Whenever I have a friend or somebody that I don't know and they're sharing their music, I'm like, congratulations. I want to uplift people. I want to be happy for people. I don't want to be in a mode of competition. That's why, Nikki and I started Sisters in Music, because her brainchild, and she asked me to come along, is because we wanted to show that, women can get along and we can uplift each other and we can collaborate on things. It doesn't have to be about competition, because we don't need to be there. We can all,
I don't use the word hate often, but I hate the stereotype or the idea that women don't get along with each other. I think that, excuse my French, but that's just bullshit.
It is bullshit. It is big. It's a big bucket of bullshit.
I mean, I think of like the closest people in my life and the people that I trust the most, and they're all women. My best friends, my mom, my sister. I hate that stereotype.
What's been interesting about this whole Sisters in Music thing is that we've tried to connect to other like female-oriented groups like ours and stuff like that, and you'd be surprised how many of them just don't respond.
That's disappointing.
Yeah, and there's some that have responded, and they only deal with the elite people. It's like, well, what kind of BS are you doing? You're obviously not about supporting women. I told one of them that. I said, it's a shame. I said, then you need to take your crap down, because we don't have to connect, and we don't have to help one another, but you're talking about helping one another, people, women, and you're not even doing it. So what is your purpose? I don't get that. This platform, like I keep saying, is huge. It's big enough for all of us to be able to do everything and anything that we want to do on this musical stage. So I think that people need to, one of the things I've learned is that people need to humble themselves. They just do.
I think it's hard sometimes in a career like this to stay humble, but I mean, I try and live at least my own life in the mindset that even, the people that I don't necessarily get along with,
right.
Or when you have encounters with people, like everyone has something to teach you. And if our personalities don't click and, we're not going to be the best of friends, like that's fine, but there's still something that you can bring to my table and vice versa.
Amen to that, sister. So, who are the artists that you haven't written with that you would love or dying to write with?
Oh my God, what a list. I would love to write a song with Julia Michaels. She's one of my biggest inspirations. I love everything she touches. I feel like I've listened so deeply into her catalog that even if it's a song she's written, I'm like, I'll be looking through the credits on Spotify and I'll be like, did Julia write the song? And then it pops up and I'm like, yes, I know her writing so well because I love her. So she is definitely someone I would love to work with in the future.
Okay.
Emily Weisband is also a top tier female artist. She just started her artist career, but she's been a songwriter for a long time. She's local in Nashville. Would love to work with her one day. And producer-wise, probably Dwilly. I love all of his stuff. His production is insane, super fresh, always different. I sit there in my room and try to recreate it. I can't come close, so I would love to write with him at some point.
Awesome. What are the best resources that have helped you along the way?
Oh man, so many. When I first moved to Nashville, actually before I even moved here, I think I was 14 or 15 when I met Marty Dodson and Clay Mills, who run a company called Songtown USA.
Okay.
And that has been an awesome resource for me kind of when I first started developing my songwriting. They offer a lot of like mentoring classes, videos, podcasts, things, just super educational content. So that's been a great resource for me. But I think the biggest thing that has taught me the most is just co-writing. Co-writing a ton of songs.
You know, it's interesting. Collaborations can be very interesting. They can go very well, and then they can go funky. I've had funky.
Yep.
And I've had some good collaborations. I love working with other people. I love brainstorming ideas, and I love to see how people use words and how they express themselves, especially in this whole music world. And, you know, and then I like to see, you know, what the end goal is for a lot of artists and writers out there and what they want to achieve with their music. You know, if they're trying to be an effective player or they're just trying to chart or they're just trying to make money. Obviously, we're all trying to make money in this industry.
Right.
But and there's so many different ways that we can, you know, with sync, licensing, merch, selling merch, going on tour. People are starting to get back on tour again. You know, one of the things I hate doing, I don't do CDs anymore. I have so many CDs here. I'm just like, oh my God, I can't do I mean, I understand it if you're touring and you're selling, and I don't even like to do it then. You have to break out the thing to swipe so they can buy it. If you don't have a team like me and I'm doing everything myself, it's annoying. And right now it's Grammy season. So people are always constantly doing CDs and stuff, which I don't even open them. I go online and I look for the thing so I can listen to the album or the single. Because who has time for that?
Yeah, it's crazy. CDs have like become a novelty at this point. Like it's cool to own them, but half the newer cars today don't have CD players in them. So it's kind of hard. Everything's so digitalized now. It's streaming or nothing.
But and yet they've come out with vinyl albums.
Yeah, that's true. Vinyls, I feel like, are becoming a huge thing, especially for independent artists to create vinyls.
And so, where are they playing these vinyl records? What contraption?
I mean, I have 2 record players in my house, so I've got plenty of vinyls that I listen to quite often. But I
mean,
I don't know. I'm sure not everyone has one.
I used to have one. It was almost like an antique one, and it was just taking up space. So I sold it in a yard sale. So I have nothing to play. I'd have to go buy it. I'd have to go buy.
I do this game with my roommate and I. We go to an antique shop or like a little thrift store, and we'll give ourselves like 5 minutes on the timer, and we have to go pick out 3 or 4 records, and then we'll bring them home, and whoever picked the best record or the worst record has to make dinner or do the dishes, and it's kind of a fun game. So I've got tons of records at my house.
Oh, I love that. Maybe I should include it. I'm sure I could find.
I found some really cool music playing that kind of game. It's so fun.
I may have to invest in a record player and find one. Maybe I can find one on Amazon or hell on eBay. I might be able to find one there. That'd be interesting.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Now you're starting to work on your own music and ready to produce your own album. And I know in chatting on IG Live, you have, you're a little nervous about performing on stage, but I think you'll probably do an excellent job of performing on stage. But are you getting really excited about the prospect of releasing a new album and getting your music out there? Because all eyes will be on you. This is all about Khiana Noel. Are you ready for?
Oh Lord.
all of the hoops?
I am. I'm really excited. It finally feels like I've gotten to a point in my life where I know who I am and what I want to say, and it's a really exciting time for me to take on releasing my own music because it feels genuine, and so I care a little less about how quote unquote well it does and more about the fact that I'm at this point in my life getting to make art for a living, and if it reaches 1 million people, then that's amazing. But if I just get to share a part of me into the world that I was too scared to do before, that's also big enough for me.
Awesome. Well, I like that answer. Now, tell us about the song you sent me and what it is about.
Yeah, so that song, I had just moved into my house with my 2 roommates who also do music. We write together quite a bit. Okay. And one of my roommates and the other one is an artist himself. And, we had a co-write that day for my roommate, and we were planning to write a song for him. And so we got started on it, and we finished the song. It took us it was one of those ones that just came out like it was nothing. And so we finished the song in about 30 minutes, and my roommate looked at me and he was like, "This is not my story, this is you." And it was kind of the first moment that someone had said that to me in a writing room. Right. But it was really true. I was kind of getting over this guy at the time and going through some personal stuff, and the song just sort of poured out, and I thought, I was writing from his perspective and I had been writing from mine, and that's when I decided I was going to start making my own music, and kind of spent, some of quarantine writing all of the songs that I'm getting ready to release, and that one was just the first one that I was like, okay, this is the one I'm putting out, because it's the first one that kind of started this journey for me.
Okay. All right. Well, let's play it. Here we go.
You said hello and then I really lost my breath. You said goodbye when we were nearly at our best. But you're the reason that I'm really damn unrested. Who would've guessed it? I should've said it and just got it off my chest. But then you really got me feeling kinda stressed. My mama said that we just never really meshed. She wasn't missing. It's just been too long for me to go and try to find another one, but I can't hold it in. No, I can't hold it in. You go and break it off just to come right back. You never would've gone and done me like that. You really, really lost somebody. You really, really lost somebody. My love is too strong just to give it away, and there's some things that you just don't say. You really, really lost somebody. You really, really lost somebody. It's been a lot for me to take time and adjust. I even went and tried to see a therapist. I don't know how I'm ever gonna learn to trust, 'cause the only trust I ever had was us. It's just been too long for me to go and try to find another one, but I can't hold it in. No, I can't hold it in. You go and break it off just to come right back. You never would've gone and done me like that. You really, really lost somebody. You really, really lost somebody. My love is too strong just to give it away, and there's some things that you just don't say. You really, really lost somebody. You really, really lost somebody. When you really, really love. When you really, really love. When you really, really love. I get the feeling that you don't give a damn. Give me a reason so I could understand why you be leaving. come right back. You never would have gone and done me like that. When you really, really lost that love, you really, really lost that love. We're never too strong to give it away. And there's some things that you just don't say. When you really, really lost that love, when you really, really lost that love.
I love that. Now,
Oh, thank you.
that has a pop vibe to me. Is that a pop song?
Yeah, so most of my music is definitely pop forward. That's kind of the genre I would most classify myself with. And then I like to do undertones of pop punk because that's what I grew up on. So lots of distorted guitars and things like that.
That's a hit right there. Right there.
Thank you. You're so kind.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I could hear that on radio. Hell, I could
Thank
hear
you so much.
a commercial. I could hear it. Now, have you thought about pitching that song for sync and licensing?
I haven't thought about pitching that one specifically. I do a lot of sync and film and TV writing, but that's not one I've thought about pitching. I think if someone wanted to license it, I'm all for it, but it's not the song I've thought of doing for that.
I think you should, but who am I?
Well, thank you. Maybe I will. Give me a little boost of confidence there.
Yeah, why not? I mean, I think it's got a great beat. You obviously have awesome vocals on it, and you're relaying a true story. So I like it a lot. I think it's definitely a hit. Definitely a hit. Now,
thank you so much.
You're welcome. How do you manage all of your social media platforms? Because that's something that will drive somebody insane. It drives me insane because they're like, "Oh, you gotta post
absolutely."
today.
Oh my God. Social media has always been like such a weird thing for me. I had a conversation a couple years ago with my buddy Joey, and I specifically remember this is sort of a tough love conversation, but we had been working together for a while. And I don't know how we got onto the topic of social media, but I remembered him saying to me very honestly, yeah, you post a lot of pretty pictures, but if I just looked at your social media, I don't know who you are. And that really hit me hard. And it was one of those conversations with a friend where like someone called me out on my shit. And it stuck with me. And since then, I have really focused on, because I think like a few years ago, I mean, thank God for therapy and all the things I'm doing in my current life that have helped me realize these things. But I think younger me was so focused on perfection and impressing people. And like, if my skin didn't look good, if my hair didn't look good, I wasn't going to post the picture. And, I got to a place where I was like, I don't really care if my social media is coordinated. Like, I love when I get on and I see someone that has a super aesthetic feed or whatever, but that's just not who I am as a person. I'm messy as a human, and I don't have that perfect aesthetic. And so after that conversation, I took a break, first of all, from social media, and I had one of my best friends, Kelly, God bless her, love her to death. She actually took over my Instagram for about a month and logged in for me and would post music things when it needed to be done, and I just took a break. And then when I came back to doing my own Instagram and all that kind of stuff, I just started posting the things that I love. And sometimes that's pictures of my dog or things I'm doing or, unfiltered selfies or things that are just like, pictures of my family and my music. And I noticed at the beginning that I definitely lost some engagement on my Instagram, which was interesting. But what ended up happening from that is I, like a month or two in of just posting the things that mattered to me and caring less about what it looked like, I actually grew. I 2,000 followers, and my engagement went up. It's like all the people that were only there for the pretty perfect pictures left, and then I got this whole new wave of people that, I mean, honestly, like everyone that I have on my Instagram, like I talk to them, comment with them, DM with them, and have really cool conversations. And I know I'm kind of rambling, but I feel like that was part of me just showing more authentically what I do and who I am versus what I look like, if that makes sense.
I love the fact that you were just like, screw it, I'm going to be me. Listen, the only time it's funny, I'm the opposite. The only time you see me looking like all dolled up is like if I've gone to an award show or something like that, because I don't wear makeup. One, and so that's the only opportunity you're all going to see me with any damn makeup on my face, and then the rest is just funk. Where I just don't care. I mean, I get up and I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna have my workout gear on, or I'll have a hat on, or I'll look completely crazy. But that's just me. That's authentic. That's what people want, though. And it's crazy to me
I started thinking about it too from the perspective of like, let's just dream big and say, I make it massive and something happens and suddenly, I'm going to Walmart and someone knows who I am. Are they going to see me at Walmart looking like I do on Instagram? Probably not. So is that going to be something I have to keep up with and maintain and stress myself out over? Or do I just show people what I am and then you like it or you don't,
We don't have time for that. There's no time. It's like either you like me for the way that I look. My mom used to tell me that she knew women that, they were dating somebody or were married or whatever the case may be, living with somebody. They would go to bed with their makeup on because they didn't want their to not see like the real them. And I'm like, oh my God, that's too much pressure. That's too much pressure. Listen, if you don't like, you have to like the good, bad, and the ugly. All of it.
Especially if you're going to be with someone for a long time. I mean,
exactly.
You have to kind of show that side of yourself.
Oh my God, yeah, no. And it's funny, when I went to these award shows these past week, these people, one of my friends was like, oh, you have a shadow on your face, you need to fix this picture. I'm like, you all sit there on your phones, always trying to fix these pictures and do these filter stuff. I said, Natalie does not have time for that. Take the picture, it goes up on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Just like that. There are very rare where I will fix a picture. Very rare, because I just don't know. No.
I worked with a photographer one time that told me something really interesting. He was like, if it's gonna be gone in 5 to 7 days, I might edit it out. But if it's gonna be there for 5 to 7 years, I'm not gonna take it away. And I thought that was such a good perspective because, of course, like if we have a professional photo shoot or something, like, sure, take the pimple off my cheek. That's cool. But, like, don't make me skinnier. Don't make me taller. Right. Don't make me anything that I'm not going to be in the next year,
Amen. So now that you're going to be releasing music out there to the world, new music and stuff like that, what will your music say about you?
Oh, I have so much I want to say. I think for me, I want to just be as honest with the people that listen to my music as I can be. Of course, there's some parts of my life that are like, yeah, I'll keep that to myself. But I'm a pretty open book when it comes to things I'll talk about. There's nothing that I don't really like to get into, conversations about politics or whatnot unless it's a time and a place. But as far as my personal life, I'm super open about who I am and what I've gone through and things like that. And so I think some of the experiences I've had in life, if I had had a song that related to me while I was going through X, Y, and Z,
right.
you know, it would have been a little easier. And so I want to talk openly about my mental health and body image and the introverted side of me, you know, the thing we talked about on Instagram Live about being nervous to kind of take up space and be that big presence in a room and all that kind of stuff, and just write songs that are really real. And then obviously I've had horrible dating stories, so there will be some breakup songs and things like that. But, you know, I just want to be as real to my life as I can be in my music, and I think that's the best way I can describe what people should expect.
Speaking of the dating life is the most horrendous thing that I can even talk about. So I decided that I was going to go in
especially in Nashville. I don't know why Nashville dating is so hard.
Well, I went on some dating sites. And I've done that before, but this was the finality. I'm never, ever going on another dating site. When I tell you the amount of scammers, it's just ridiculous. Like there's one called Plenty of Fish, and you see the dog.
Yeah.
There's one that's Plenty of Fish, and every other profile was a fake profile. It took too much effort to figure out who was real and who wasn't. It's just ridiculous. For people to try to scam people like that is just ridiculous. And then once you start,
I haven't had any luck with dating apps either, so I'm not on them anymore myself.
And then the people have nothing to say. You're just like, okay. Oh my gosh, I can't. I'd rather be by myself.
It's also just so hard. Like I'm such an energy person. I have to read the room and your vibe to feel any kind of spark or connection. And so when we're just messaging cold on an app and it's like, what do you do for work? Where are you from? It's like I can't connect with you in that way doing that.
Yeah, and I was talking to another young lady and we both agreed, you know, there's nothing wrong with wanting, you know, I personally don't want to settle. I'm not a person that's like, oh my God, if I don't get married, I'm going to die type of person. But I definitely want to have passion in whoever I meet. I want to be in love. I want to feel those feelings. I just want to be like, okay, you're my boyfriend. Let's stay together. And no, I don't want it to be like that. And I think a lot of people seem to want to settle because they want to be with somebody. I'm sorry. No, I'm not doing that. Nope.
It's kind of, it's a good thing and a bad thing, I guess. I love my alone time so much, and I like myself enough that I'm okay to be alone.
Exactly.
Even though I love love, and I'm a hopeless romantic, and of course I want the fairy tale met you in aisle 7 kind of thing, but you know, I'm right there with you. I'm not going to just date someone for the kicks, you know. I
mean, it's just I'm like you. I'm so busy with music. I don't really have time to care about, I'm not with somebody, boo hoo hoo. No, I don't have time for that. It doesn't even cross my mind because I'm trying to get, you know, all this stuff done with music. Like next week I have 6 releases coming out because I'm a cray-cray person.
Oh my gosh, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, one's coming out tomorrow, then Saturday, then Sunday, then Monday, Tuesday. And I'm thinking, what drugs was I on when I decided to do this? But that's okay. You know, somebody said, well, why didn't you just do an album? I said, because they don't go together. I like to do themed albums, and I'm just like, all of them are very different. Some were extremely out of the box for me. And now I'm just going to be focused on marketing and pushing and promo and this and that and blah, 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 trying to get the music out there. So, you know, we don't have time to, oh, my God, I'm still by myself. No, we don't have time.
Well, it's hard, too, because, us as musicians, we live such a different schedule than the normal type of job, you know. I'll have a co-write at 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. and then I'll get a quick lunch break at like 1, maybe 2, and then go into an evening session and sometimes a third session, and those sessions go until 2 or 3 in the morning. Then I'm sleeping, and the next day I've got, you know, a photo shoot or an interview or something that I'm doing, a rehearsal or, you know, whatever, just answering emails. It's kind of like finding a time to hang out with somebody and build that connection is difficult.
It's very difficult. No, we're on the same page. It's very difficult, but oh well. I believe whoever's supposed to come into our lives will come into our lives. Whatever.
Right. You just got to keep believing that.
Exactly. So, what advice would you give to somebody trying to break into this music industry?
I would say a couple of things. I would say first and foremost, leave your ego at the door. Just drop it off. Don't pick it back up. Write with everybody and anyone who asks, because everybody's going to teach you something. There's no one that you're too good for or that's too good for you. That goes back to the whole leaving your ego thing. You know, sometimes it's like all these, you want to write with these giant artists and blah, 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 but when you look around the circle that you're in, you know, someone may only have 100 followers on Instagram, but they could be the best writer ever to walk in the room. And you just don't know. For me, just write with everybody, you know, stay humble, leave your ego, and I think just don't stop. Because I remember when I first moved to town, somebody told me it's not about who's the best or who is the most talented or has the most money. It's about who sticks around. And I've seen that happen in my own life. People that I thought were incredibly talented, I mean, they are, but they quit and they went and pursued other careers, and that's fine. But it's the people that stick around when it gets really hard or they feel like they're not doing good enough, and then they break through because they just kept going.
Exactly. You know, people are, as artists, independent artists, whoever is out there, you have to stay true to who you are. Don't let anybody change who you are as an artist and what you have to say. I think that's very important, because there's certain labels. No, we don't think that's right for you, and you're like, well, that's me. Sometimes you have to decide. You stay by yourself, or you go with an indie, or you go with a big label. There's always consequences to every single one of those things. I like staying independent because I just like to do my own thing. I don't want anybody to tell me, no, well, that's not the song to release. Well, Natalie wants to release that song. That's what's going to happen. So I have full control of it. I'll tell you no,
yes,
and I'm like,
right there with you.
It's like, but that's my song. And I'm going to release it the way that I want to release it, and I want to write it. It's called creativity. That's the whole thing. Like, when some people are so strict about how songs are supposed to be written, it drives me crazy, because I just want to express. I got to be me, basically. But I understand the strictness of some of the songs out there. I give kudos to the people that can. While I'm just like, no, scratch this. I'm going to just do something unique and different, so people can say, wow, where did this come from?
Right.
You know, so, well, Khiana, thank you so much for being on Chatting with Nat. I learned, again, a lot more about you.
Thank you for having me. This was so fun.
I had a lot of fun with you. You and I are very much alike in our thoughts and our ideas. I can't wait for your album to come out. I'm definitely going to follow everything that you do.
Likewise, I can't wait to hear these releases you've got coming out this week.
Yeah, the first one that's coming out tomorrow is called Authentically Me.
Well, I will look for it. I can't wait to listen to it.
Thank you so much. I hope you have a great week and a great weekend.
Thank you. You too. Stay safe.
Same to you. And that was Khiana Noel. She's an artist, a songwriter, singer, producer. She does it all. You've got to follow her. She's on Instagram. She's everywhere. You can just Google her. Until next time on Chatting with Nat. Chatting with Nat is a podcast for independent women seeking to speak their truth and to break down barriers. We host honest conversations that help to guide and empower women. Speak your truth and set yourself free. Let your voice be heard.